Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to A Sanctuary in the World. Welcome if this is your first time here, and welcome back if you've been with me for the number of weeks that I've been doing this. A Sanctuary in the World is a virtual space. It's a virtual place that I have created where we come together on a regular basis in different locations to think about what we believe, to reflect on what we believe, and do that in relationship to the world in which we live, to the challenges of where we live and the time that we're living in. We think about the intersection between our faith, what we believe, what our values are, and this thing we call life. And so we'll be meeting, we have been meeting each week in a different location in order to do that, a different location that is the backdrop for doing that kind of work. Today, we are at Union Depot. We're at Union Depot in downtown St. Paul, Minnesota. And Union Depot, like many facilities around the country like this, is the main hub for passenger ground transportation out of the city. This is where Amtrak arrives and departs from, Greyhound. It's where the light rail that goes between St. Paul and Minneapolis stops. And so it's a major place for people who are journeying, people who are traveling and journeying and on a path going somewhere. I wanted to be here today because I've been thinking a lot about journey. I've been thinking a lot about paths and journeys, and particularly because we can't right now. I really like traveling. People who know me well know I like to go, and I like to travel and experience new places, and we're limited right now in what we can do. Last week I did have to go to Chicago and then also on to Milwaukee for some things, and I went there. I did what I needed to do, and I left. I couldn't really enjoy where it was or experience those cities like I normally do. And so things have changed for us in terms of journeys, our physical journeys, and the life that we're leading right now. Nevertheless, though, I am reminded that I'm really on a bigger journey. I'm really on a bigger life journey, a life path. And so I have to step back. I've been stepping back, thinking a lot about that life journey, that life path that I'm on. It's a path that is leading really to purpose. It's leading to my purpose, and it's a path that we're all on, regardless of what age we are, that is leading to, I believe, what our purpose is. What path are you on? What journey are you on right now? What journey are you taking? And really, where is it leading? Do you know where it's leading you? And then also, who's on that path with you? Who's on that path with you? I was thinking about, in this week, post-Easter week, about that topic and how it connects with Scripture. And so I was drawn to my textbook called the Bible. And I was specifically drawn to the passages right after the resurrection story. And so I want to read Luke 24, verses 13 to 35 to you. Luke 24, verses 13 through 35. And I'm reading from the New International Version this week. So listen to me, if you will. Now on the same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleophas, asked him, Are you only a visitor to Jerusalem and do not know the things that have happened in these days?" "What things?" he said. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied, "who's a prophet. powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. And what's more, it is the third day since all this took place. In addition, some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but they didn't find the body. They came and told us that they had seen all that they had seen, a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said. But he said to them, "How foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Christ have to suffer these things and then enter his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning him. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus acted as if he were going further. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening. The day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took the bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened and they recognized him. And he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" Then they got up, returned at once to Jerusalem. There they found the 11 and those with them assembled together and saying, "It is true, the Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two told what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke the bread. You know, they were so focused, those two. They were so focused on what they thought was supposed to happen. They were so focused on what they thought was to be, and they couldn't see. They couldn't see what they needed. They couldn't see who they needed and who was right there walking with them on the journey. Now, I have to admit, I'm a lot like them. I am a lot like them. I am often out there confused about what I thought was going to be the case, confused and perplexed about a journey that I thought was going to go one way, but actually has gone another. But what I do believe, and what I have to keep reminding myself, is that on this journey called life, there is a grand plan. There's a bigger plan for me. And what I also believe is that God is, in fact, still speaking. So speaking and acting. And I can engage and draw strength and wisdom for the journey that I am on. I can do that, however, if I shift from Toya's solo thinking into what the Holy One would have. So I think what's really cool about the story to me, what's really cool about this passage to me, is that Jesus didn't leave them in their confusion. Jesus stayed with them on the journey. Jesus stayed right there with them on through the evening. And it was over the table. It was over the table. It was over bread as it was being broken that they were finally able to see. Tables. Over the table. Tables, food, fellowship, relationship really can be transformational for all of us. They were filled again. They were filled again with hope. They were filled again with hope. And what they did was they ran. They ran to tell others, just like the women did at the tomb. So all of that for me gives me hope. All of that for me gives me hope for this journey that I'm on, this path that I'm on. And this really is a journey that I will be on, that you will be on, that we'll all be on until we die. It doesn't matter what age we are. It doesn't matter what station in life we're in. It doesn't matter if we're still working, if we're retired. We're all on a path and on a journey. I invite you this week to think about your own path, to think about your own journey, to think about where you are in life and how you're walking in that. How you're walking in light of what you believe. I hope you're able to spend some time doing that this week. That is, in fact, my prayer for you. Let it be so. My friends, I want to leave you, actually. I'm going to leave you with a prayer written several years ago by a young girl named Harriet Sudduth. She was actually 9 years old when she wrote the prayer, and she was a student at Chenoweth Elementary School in Louisville, Kentucky. Listen to Harriet's prayer. It's entitled, "For an Extra Push Along the Way." Dear God, thank you for this wonderful and beautiful world. It is full of big surprises. I am trying to do my best in making peace in the world. But I have one question. How can I? Please help me. Maybe give me an extra push along the way. Sometimes I need a little push, but I don't know how to ask. If you could help me do anything better, please tell me. Thank you. Well, my friends, that is what I have today. You've heard the word proclaimed, you've heard reflection proclaimed, and I hope it's engaged you. I hope it's inspired you to think a little bit about this journey, this life journey that you are on, and how it connects with what it is you believe. And I encourage you to fully walk into that path, into the journey that you're on that has been designed just for you. If you like what you've heard, if you like what you have seen, I invite you also to go to my website, www.gracemultimedia.org. There you can learn more about this social enterprise that I'm engaged in. You can listen to more words, more sermons from me. You can read a little bit more. You can also learn about some partners who are doing transformational work around the world. There's also a place there if you'd like to see me in person. You can book me to come. I can do that virtually as well. And then lastly, there's a couple of ways that you can donate to this work that I'm doing so that it can keep going. And so I invite you to, if you're so moved, to give in that way as well. My friends, thank you once again for being with me in A Sanctuary in the World. This is live, but I will take this video and post it on my YouTube site. So if you have folks who have missed the live version, they can go to my YouTube site and also view this as well as previous times we were together. Have a great rest of the week. Blessings on the journey, and I will see you next time in A Sanctuary in the World.